Welcome to CTV News, Your Canada. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
From her zany performance in Beetlejuice to her iconic roles in Schitt's Creek and as Kevin McAllister's mom. Kevin! Catherine O'Hara lit up the screen, bringing laughter and heart to fans around the world, and right here in her hometown.
Oh, I'm a little sad. Yeah, she was everybody's mom, Home Alone mom, right? Yeah, it was pretty sad.
She's hilarious, and I think we'll all feel a little bit like we're home alone now without her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Audacious and vibrant roles in Hollywood made her a household name. But before any of that, she landed a job at the Second City with that notorious crew in Toronto.
She was actually serving drinks when Second City opened and was an understudy to the main stage. And then when she stepped up, she became part of the original SCTV cast. She actually got cast on SNL in the 80s and stepped away from that to come back and finish SCTV. I know this place meant a lot to her.
It's a place where O'Hara also means a lot to the people now at the Comedy Hub.
She's completely authentic. You can see that in both her eyes and her voice. She had a voice that wasn't compromised in any way. She had very acerbic wit. This combination of being both warm but also like there's a cutting edge to it.
And is being remembered fondly around the GTA.
How does someone last 5 decades? You know, authenticity, reinventing yourself, staying current, and also just being very consistent. Catherine O'Hara is that, and also being a good person.
We were lucky to have Catherine come and speak with the students a few years ago, and I was struck by how modest she was. Because as a critic standing back and looking at her career, she was phenomenally funny, extremely talented, and very, very skillful. She was someone who really understood how to be funny.
I've often heard people say they're humbled when receiving an award, but I'm not so sure that's true. My head is getting bigger as I speak.
As people learn of her passing, people in Toronto are shocked and saddened.
It's a tragedy for Canada. It's a big loss for our country. She was a stalwart kind of actor. Yeah, we lost a good one this time.
At 71, O'Hara was still very active in her career, and tonight people are saying it's very sad to lose her at this time. Reporting live, I'm Beth McDonnell. Natalie, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Beth. Competition is heating up to see who can create the coolest sculpture.
18 blocks, 300 pounds per block.
Winterlude is underway at Confederation Park, where a dozen ice carving duos from around the world have just 30 hours to complete their ice sculptures. Spectators like Maeve and Azalea watch in awe.
It's really cool. I've been really enjoying seeing them carve them out. It's really awesome.
This year's challenge, inspiration from the north, which carver Chris Dainty hopes to reflect.
Julio, who I'm carving with, comes from Mexico City. And so one of the things was we wanted to do a narwhal, a polar bear, and a hunter, father, son. And so this was really special to think of what it's like up north, how people survive through hunting. So that's what we did with this one.
Visitors vote on the final pieces.
The fun project will be very interesting to see.
Here, it's the magic of the ice gardens. Over in Gatineau, Jacques Cartier Park is rolling out its winter playground.
Chilly today, but let me tell you, totally worth the view from the top of this Ferris wheel to see the Ottawa River, the city, and Snowflake Kingdom.
And it's where you also find the snow slides.
That thing is 40 feet high and 150 width. This year we make close of 40,000 cubic meters of snow.
Carved into the sides, massive sculptures along with alcoves highlighting all things Canadiana.
This is truly a Canadian experience, and that's why it's so important that people come out. Whether you want to learn how to ski, snowboard, there's even an opportunity to learn about lacrosse over here.
There's something for everyone, like mazes, activities, snacks, and live music too, with many other events on both sides of the border.
Also, at Confederation Park, because it's an Olympic year this year, we have a big screen, and we're going to be showing the Canadians that are competing in the Winter Olympics this year. So don't stay at home, get dressed up, and come and cheer on our Canadian athletes.
Winterlude runs until February 16th, and while you're there, don't forget about the ice slides.
Fast.
Quite the surprise to come home to on Thursday for Brian Sandow. A crew with heavy machinery clearing his sidewalk.
I was kind of at a loss. I was like, well, if you look around, like, why are you at my house specifically when my sidewalks actually look better than the road itself, which the city is responsible for? Day after day of snowfall and plows don't come by and do the streets.
Sandow says earlier this month, after returning home from out of town, the city of Kitchener did give a warning.
Everything seemed to be pretty good except for where the sidewalk connects to the road. There was a little 4-inch bump there. So I got my chipper out and cleaned it up and thought, okay, well, you know, that's good.
It turns out it was not good, at least by city standards. Sandow says he takes pride in keeping things clear.
I'm out here every day after work with a snowblower, and I have nice clean edges.
When CTV News contacted the City of Kitchener about sidewalk clearing standards, they provided information from their website indicating sidewalks around properties must be cleared of snow and ice within 24 hours of a snowfall, and they must be maintained to bare pavement. Trouble is, it's been one of the coldest and snowiest winters in recent memory, so removing snow right down to the concrete is tricky.
I put salt down, but salt is only effective down to -9, -10. After that, it's just a waste. Nothing has been down to the concrete of the pavement, including the city streets or their sidewalks.
Sandow wonders why the city is only going after certain properties.
So as you can see, this is the property line, but this is what my sidewalk looked like, and that wasn't sufficient. This is what they've become.
He does live on a corner lot and says he is mindful about ensuring there is pedestrian access to the road. Despite being diligent, he fears what the bill for this work will be.
So this could be easily over $1,000 for something that I've been dealing with all winter.
A winter he won't soon forget. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
It's like her second home, and that's because Kendall Hunter grew up in Banff but spent a lot of time at Mount Norquay. She's just 13 months old in this photo with her sister.
Every spot on the hill has a memory for me, pretty much, you know. Training on the rope tow, or, you know, riding up backwards on the T-bar with my friends goofing around or skiing through the trees.
Kendall's dad is local ski pioneer Eddie Hunter. This is a photo of him at age 15 after winning a ski competition at Norquay.
He has memories of walking up from Banff because his family didn't have a car and they would walk up the gully to watch the ski jumping. So he was pretty young.
Eddie is also turning 100 in 2026, and Kendall is sharing some of her family's stories in a blog celebrating the mountain's rich history.
When Dad talks about Norquay in those early days, it's the story I always have is just about him walking up before there was a lift, and just how incredulous that was that people did that, you know.
At that time, they skied them in leather boots and wooden skis. And when I ski it today, I get tired skiing down. I could just imagine how it was back then when they walked up, skied down in that equipment. You know, they were really committed to this sport and enjoying themselves doing it.
Jim and Lynn Robertson have been skiing here for 20 years and live in Canmore. They come out about 3 times a week during the ski season.
The history is amazing. When you look at the old pictures of Marilyn Monroe out here skiing back in the day, and no, there's a lot of history.
Over the years, countless people have learned how to ski at Norquay, and that's still one of the focuses today is teaching people how to ski. And in fact, Norquay can boast 5 members on the national ski team, with 1 heading to the Olympics next week. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Banff.
Hundreds of items are on display at this year's renovation show, from landscaping vehicles and roofing tiles to knives and doormats.
Everyone has a regular front and back door mat, but they don't stop all the dirt from coming in, where this mat is 60% cotton, 40% microfiber, so it stops everything from coming in your house.
Alan McNeil's company, Miracle Mat, is based in Vancouver. He says the Edmonton renovation show is a wonderful environment for products that need to be demoed demonstrated.
You can't hang a mat like this in a retail store beside a cheaper mat, because people think a mat's a mat, but it's not. Ours are completely different.
People can browse more than 200 booths to find exactly what they need or get a little inspiration.
It's really a great one-stop shop. To start your projects off in January, that's really the best time to get going.
We're looking for tiles and backsplashes for our kitchen when we get it redone. I'm looking for a lovely new dishwasher because I'm tired of being the dishwasher.
My house is like 20 years old, and I haven't been here for a long time, so a lot more stuff this year that I can see.
The renovation show runs at the Expo Center through Sunday evening. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Just throwing out your clothes is kind of just a waste.
According to the website madeinca.ca, only 1% of clothing is recycled into new clothing, and about 87% of fibers used for clothing end up in landfills or incinerated. Elaine Chatwood, coordinator of the Fashion Design Technician program at St. Clair College, is hoping to help address the problem. She has created a Canada-wide competition for high school students.
Part of the industry, well, most of the industry is moving to sustainable business models as much as possible. So we started to see it in the industry, so we want to build it into our curriculum.
The goal of sustainable fashion is to keep a garment in circular use for as long as possible. Students are tasked with creating an outfit using upcycled garments, fabric, and found items.
I hope they learn that we should think of sustainability right from the beginning, right from the design perspective, what we're picking with fabrics, picking more organic, natural fabrics or fabrics that are recycled.
I like to flip things I find at the thrift store, and I like to take old sheets that I find at the thrift store and use them as fabric for my clothes.
Sophia Perry has been experimenting with upcycled clothing for years and is excited to create a design for the competition.
I'm going to take an old pair of jeans and I'm going to cinch them in, and then I'm going to make them bell bottoms, but I'm going to use the extra fabric from a sheet that I find. I hope it's patterned.
She'll also create a matching top.
Whenever you're done with your clothes, you put them in a bag and you send them off to Goodwill. It's just a cycle that can replenish itself, because just because you don't want something doesn't mean someone else can't use it or can't make it into something.
According to Made in CA, it takes over 3,700 liters of water to make a pair of jeans from growing cotton to delivery in store. Chatwood says upcycling to a thrift store can help save landfills.
Looking at buying better quality, better fabrics, more natural fabrics, or recycled fibers. And they will cost a little bit more, but you've got to think about cost per wear.
The designs submitted will be fully wearable and runway ready. The top 3 will be selected by the St. Clair College faculty and showcased at the college's Atelier Fashion Show in April. Submissions are due March 2nd. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
A guy from Germany shoveling off a skating rink in Cape Breton in the most Canadian of winter weather. It's a scenario that is asking to be explained in a bit more detail.
Sometimes I look back or think back myself and I think, okay, how did all this happen?
Christoph Mertenitz moved here from Germany in 2022 to manage this property along Route 4 in Howie Center, known as the Red Farm. It's a 400-acre piece of land that has hosted weddings and other special events. It has a 12-room motel and a summer beer garden. And last August, the venue was the site of a big outdoor concert headlined by Sloan.
1,400 people on the property enjoyed their time, and now, as a German guy, opening an ice rink for Canadians is a weird thing.
Mertenitz says the outdoor rink is the Red Farm's latest attraction and an effort to get people onto the property in winter.
Yesterday we had our first people here skating a little bit, having a hot chocolate.
The ice surface is small. You couldn't play hockey here, and it has room for a limited number of skaters. But it does come with quite the view.
The view, I mean, is one of the best that you can have. Skating here and looking down to the river, to the other side, to Coxey's Mountain. What do you want more?
And for a man carving out a new life in a new country, there's an added bonus to having a sheet of ice like this.
It's not a German thing at all. We don't have ice rinks. Nobody's building an ice rink in Germany. So, but that shows a little bit that I'm starting to adopt the Canadian mentality and slowly I'm becoming a little bit Canadian, I think.
He adds that the recent sub-zero temperatures have been ideal for ice making, and it's hard to sound much more Canadian than that. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Howe Centre, Nova Scotia.
Captivated faces at the 20th annual YOU breakfast are compelled by a young man's journey from despair on the streets of London to the heights of success, literally. Today, Trent Burke employs a half-dozen people who make the windows of London's tallest buildings shine. But as a 13-year-old, Trent's window on the world was blurred in turmoil.
My parents' marriage had disintegrated. My mother was so stressed out with the fallout and taking care of my 2 younger sisters, I became the proverbial sacrificial lamb.
Within a few short years, Trent would be on his own and a new father.
I was a homeless, traumatized, and now drug-addicted street kid.
His addiction would last a decade, but throughout that time, he found a way to make money.
And I was cleaning the storefronts downtown. I looked up at the buildings, and I said to my friends, I'm going to clean all of these buildings one day. I'm going to hang off of every single one of these buildings.
Leaving drugs behind, Trent lived up to his pledge, and today is inspired to help other young people struggling with addiction.
Somebody has to get out of it to prove that it's possible to get out of it.
Through his message, he hopes leaders in the Forest City find compassion for all youth.
They were all children once. You know, it doesn't really matter how old they are. I think that's somebody's daughter.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Built for extreme conditions, these planes fly low and fast, often with limited visibility. And inside the provincial airbase in La Ronge, crews keep them ready for the action. Every part of the aircraft is accounted for, right down to the bolts, ensuring they are safe to fly.
We have to take extra parameters and inspections to thoroughly look to make sure that our performance of our aircraft for the summertime is working at its max performance, and ultimately the safety of our pilots flying it.
This is the newest addition to the Saskatchewan Firefighting fleet, a Q400 land-based air tanker. It's a former commercial turboprop converted for firefighting.
So it's everything normal like the plane, and then they went and added this big bomb tank on here.
Ground crews fill the 12,000-liter tank with fire retardant.
He comes in the back here of the hose, hooks it up, and then when the light flashes, then he knows he's full on the hooks, and away the plane goes.
Inside, the cabin is completely stripped. No seats and no padding, while the plane remains pressurized for high-altitude flight.
It's completely gutted out to be as light as possible.
This plane may be new, but it requires monthly inspections. Crews check for cracks in open exterior panels, a process compared to lifting the hood of a car to make sure everything is in working order. 3 more Q400s are expected to join the fleet in the next couple of years. Nearby is an amphibious air tanker, commonly known as a water bomber. The bottom of the plane is shaped like a float, with smaller floats on each wing, allowing it to land on water, while retractable wheels allow it to use a runway. Beneath the plane, 2 scoops can collect about 4,500 liters of water in just 9 seconds. On a busy day, Saskatchewan crews can make up to 90 water drops, one of the highest daily totals in the world.
Because the lakes are close and long enough and deep enough that we can just go and do quick rotations.
Inside, part of the water tank system is visible, and with a push of a button, pilots can inject the foam from this tank into the water, helping reduce evaporation during a drop. From the hangar to the fire line, the work here keeps the firefighting fleet ready to respond. Stacey Hine, CTV News, La Ronge.
If you build it, they will come. The Rink of Dreams is a spot for hockey goalies with big aspirations. Tucked away on Buffalo Pound Lake, the rink has been customized with almost everything a practicing player would need. A perfect location to work on one of the most important aspects of the goaltender position.
Being a goalie, it is very hard on the mental. Like, there's lots of things, like if you let in a goal, you have to be able to bounce back from it quick. As a player, you make a mistake. Sometimes it's not always seen. But as a goalie, you have to be able to bounce back and have that good mental. So that's something I try to work on a lot.
The rink was born during the pandemic, initially starting out as an area to skate. The additions quickly added on.
I was trying to find a way, like, how can I get more hockey? Why not, like, clear off some ice and put the rink out there, put some nets out there, and then all of a sudden it transformed into adding boards, adding an ice trail, adding a sauna, and it just kept going from there.
Having the rink on the ice is quite the sight, but it does have its unique quirks, something skaters have to take into account every time they get on the ice.
With lake ice, it is a lot trickier. You have to heat the water to kind of try to eliminate the cracks, but there's so many vehicles driving back and forth, so many ice shacks out here that it's just nonstop maintenance. We made a home Zamboni, and finally I have hot water, so it's been helping quite a bit.
The father and son have opened up the space to other goalies as well, with some traveling hours away to try out the rink. Although Tripp just started his teen years, he is already looking at netminding from a coach's perspective, helping younger players trying out the goalie pads to see if it's for them.
Now that we made a rink out here, we can skate whenever we want and make those little kids train and just try to get as high as they can be. Like, honestly, they start out little, you don't know if you're going to be a goalie or not. Then you start training, and eventually you get to that next level.
Making dreams a reality for those who want to be between the pipes. Mick Favel, CTV News, Buffalo Pound Lake.
Well, there's a very special donut available at Tim Hortons this weekend supporting some very talented Special Olympic athletes.
It keeps me motivated.
Proceeds from the sale of these Special Olympics donuts will go to support local community programs and athletes. Over the past 4 years, the donut has raised more than $3.4 million for Special Olympics Canada. One location in New Sudbury started off the weekend inviting special athletes to help decorate some donuts.
Funds will go towards supporting Team Ontario, which will be representing the province at the National Summer Games later on in August. So the funds go to supporting their training, their competition, and their practices in advance. Here in Sudbury, we have 6 athletes and coaches who will be part of that team, but across the greater northeastern Ontario, the team grows to 50 athletes.
The athletes were also joined by Sudbury Police Chief Sarah Cunningham, who promised some donuts for staff back at the station. What a great cause.
Despite his big body, Corporal Greg Young rarely has to employ it to keep his small community safe.
I think I'm a pretty soft-spoken, gentle person, so I think that, helps me along.
Long before he strived to become an RCMP officer, Greg dreamed of being a strongman like his dad, Terry.
Coming to the weight room and playing around.
Kind of grew up chasing his footsteps.
Footsteps that led Terry to win gold at the World Master Championships.
Pretty happy moment for our family when he won that.
The pictures now provide motivation for Greg to train up to 4 hours a day in his home gym.
It's consistently challenging, but pretty rewarding.
And if the most rewarding thing is beginning to realize your dream of being a power lifter like your dad,
yeah, he was pretty good at it.
The most devastating thing is having it crushed by a broken back.
Definitely painful and frustrating.
Although a spinal fusion fixed his injury, it left Greg unable to lift like before.
You can choose to lay down and die or just move in a different direction.
So Greg started focusing on his bench press instead and realizing what he calls the gift of injury.
I think that I would have been a pretty good powerlifter, but I think I became a pretty great bench presser.
He was lifting these enormous weights I could never dream of.
When Greg realized the weight he was lifting in his home gym, up to 580 pounds, was better than what was being benched at the Worlds, he took a chance and invited his dad to try competing again too.
He originally inspired me, and I think this time around I inspired him to.
The coach is becoming the coached.
Over the past few World Championships, the father and son have motivated each other to both earn a place on the podium, winning bronze, silver, and gold medals.
You get a lot of joy to watch them and be there with them.
And Greg is finding that even better than achieving the dream of following in your dad's footsteps is overcoming adversity and walking right beside him.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty remarkable feeling.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.